I recently purchased a parrot because I had wished to own one for a while. So, I bought one, thinking it would be an excellent addition to my family. The parrot took some time to get to know everyone in our family and understand everything about our household. Days passed, and the parrot became accustomed to our family environment very well. However, I had yet to learn that this bird was truly unique. It's practically a mimicry wizard. It has learned to mimic my phone's ringtone perfectly. Every time my phone rings, I rush to find it, only to realize it's the parrot mimicking my phone's ringtone. It's like living with a feathery prankster. I was negotiating with my cat the other day. I said, "Listen, you can't keep knocking things off the shelves." The cat just looked at me and said, "Well then, you can't keep expecting me to work for free food." Ever wonder why the dog always seeks out the shade? Well, he's no fool. He's just avoiding becoming a hot dog out there in the scorching sun. Ever wonder why the cat perches on the computer? Well, it's not just for the warm spot. It's keeping a close watch on that sneaky little mouse. You ever notice how dogs never seem to use smartphones? It's not because they're not tech savvy. They just can't seem to find the pause button. I asked my cat for some business advice the other day. You know what she said? Invest in yarn and catnip. It's a perfectly lucrative market. Looks like I've got a feline financial advisor now. You ever notice how dogs always seem to have the best poker faces? It's probably because they're experts at keeping a straight pause during a game. I had a job interview a few days ago, but there was no one at home to look after my dog. So, I had to bring my dog with me to the interview. When we walked in, the interviewer gave us this puzzled look. Then the interviewer looked at me and said, "Sorry, we can't hire pets." I replied, "That's okay. He's not here to work. He's here to provide moral support and maybe fetch some coffee." As soon as I said that, everyone started laughing. My cat came to me with a proposal the other day. He said, "You know, Human, if you invest in a scratching post, I'll promise to leave the couch alone." I chuckled and replied, "That's a clever deal, but can you throw in some mouse catching too?" He gave me a sly look and said, "Deal, but I'll need a raise in treats." Looks like negotiations are underway in the feline world. I asked my dog what he wanted to be when he grew up. He looked at me and said, "Well, I'm torn between being a watchdog or a hot dog. Tough decision." Ever notice how my dog's always stealing my socks? I finally confronted him about it. I said, "Buddy, why do you keep swiping my socks?" He looked up at me with those innocent eyes and replied, "Well, you humans seem to think it's fun to play fetch with them. I just wanted to join in on the game. Looks like I've got a sock-stealing fetch enthusiast on my hands." My cat has some serious dance moves. I caught her practicing in the living room the other day. I asked, "What's with the fancy footwork?" She looked at me and said, "Well, you know, I figured I'd give paw salsa a try. I hear it's all the rage in the feline world." Looks like she's got her sights set on the next perfect performance. I swear, my goldfish has a better memory than me. Every time I walk by the tank, he swims up and greets me like we're long-lost pals. So I decided to test him. I walked by wearing a fake mustache. He still swam up and said hi. I guess you could say he's got a fantastic memory. Or maybe he just thinks I'm a weird-looking fish. My dog has got some serious gourmet taste. I caught him in the kitchen the other day, sniffing around the pantry. I asked, "What are you doing in there?" He turned to me, wagging his tail, and replied, "Just making sure you're stocking up on the good stuff. A dog's gotta have his standards, you know? Looks like I've got a four-legged food critic on my hands."